FIU, the Panthers, Florida International in town. They come into this one 3-4 with a 1-2 record in Conference USA, but not a team to sleep on for sure. With new head coach and Willie Simmons, who's at some pretty good programs, a lower level than FIU before this, but had a lot of success, especially at Florida A&M his stop before that. So when you look at this game, big thing for the Bears, you have Jacob Clark now with kind of that first game back from injury under his belt, back in Plaster Stadium where he's performed very well over the years. The Bears are coming out that 24-17 overtime win over New Mexico State in a game that head coach Ryan Beard said he was hoping they would put away. You know, there's a point in that game, it's 17-7, third quarter. Bears had the ball on the goal line, but it doesn't go their way. A fumble. And then New Mexico State comes back. The Aggies score in the final minutes of the game, forces overtime. But it's the two things that got the Bears through that game, that win them that game in OT. Jacob Clark making a big play on 3rd and goal to get into the end zone.
Hi everyone, First Warn 5 Meteorologist Melissa Meeder here on what has been a wet, rainy, cool, windy day. It's been 5 days now of gloomy, cloudy, misty, light rain, and we are going to continue to see that through the rest of the day today and through most of tomorrow as well, at least for the gloomy condition. So a lot going on out there. We were just looking at our city cam. It's pretty wet out there at this point, as you can see. We're going to look back at it here. Rain coming down, gloomy conditions. You see the rain kind of on the camera, kind of moving around a little bit. It's windy. And where are we going from here? What's going on? So we've got a first warn in place that is going to continue all the way through the time we get to tomorrow morning. So for the morning commute, we are looking at it to be wet as well as rainy as well as cool. And just very quickly, I'm going to put you back on the city cam. It looks like I'm having trouble pulling up the actual graphics, so I can hit the next button. Let's try this again. All right, here we go. This should be working. There we go. Okay. So, first warn is in place from now until 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Rain is going to continue to be persistent, exactly like what we're seeing right now. Will be through the overnight, and will also go until tomorrow morning. Now, I think for the most part, rain is wrapping up by about 8 a.m. However, we are still accounting the first warn for the windy condition. So, winds could gust to 40, 45 miles an hour through the rest of this evening into about 10 a.m. on your Wednesday. Winds will eventually start to die down throughout the day on Wednesday, but still looking at a pretty breezy to windy day despite the morning hours. So, the morning commute is going to be wet but also windy. I also want to point out that the wind's probably going to blow off leaves, of course, off the tree. Wet leaves can be very slippery on road conditions, so please make sure you're being careful on the roadways here. And of course, there's already leaves on the ground at this point, but just be careful tomorrow morning and give yourself some extra time. Your rain jacket, your rain boots, your umbrella, all going to be needed for the rest of this evening and early tomorrow morning. I think by the afternoon tomorrow, rain is going to be wrapping up. However, it's going to be cool, so make sure you still have your layers on tap. Here's a look at radar right now. You can see that rain has taken over our entire viewing area. There are some pockets of some heavier rain out there. We haven't seen any lightning with this. I think thunderstorm is going to be rare if we do see one, but this is just some regular old rain. Light to moderate rain, pockets of some heavy rain like what we're seeing moving up from Benton County towards Sedalia at this point. Some pockets of some yellow down towards Butler and to the west as well. So I think there are some areas that are seeing a little bit heavier rainfall, but widespread rain is expected out there. And really, if we take a look at how much rain some of us have seen already from this system, some of us have seen a good helping of rainfall. We've got about just under 0.4 of an inch here in the metro, about 1/2 of an inch towards Maryville. And so we have seen a nice helping of rain. We need the rain. It's just been so consecutive, of course, that we have seen persistent light rain. Generally, this has been the heavier rain of the last 5 days. So if you think back to, the weekend, it was misty and rainy. We got about 1/10, I think, out of Saturday, maybe 1/100th, a few 100ths out of Sunday. So we have seen this event be a little bit more potent in terms of that persistent, kind of steady, regular rain versus a light rain or a mist. So we continue to see our chance for rain at a 90% chance. Once we get to about midnight, it's about an 80% chance. And for the morning commute, especially between about 5 and 7 a.m., 70% chance for rain. So rain is very likely. We're going to continue to see rain in the morning. By 9 o'clock, we drop those chances to a 40% chance. And then by 11, it's at 20. So we see a quick drop off tomorrow morning, but keep in mind winds will remain at 9 and 10 a.m. and then will slowly diminish through the overnight hours. Our winds gusting between about 35, 40 miles an hour are expected in the metro. I think isolated gusts of 45 miles an hour in the metro will be a possibility as well. Right now, we're in the 40s. It's chilly out there. It's 48. It feels like 41. We've got a sustained wind from the northwest around 18 miles per hour. So it's windy and it's rainy and it's cool and it is gloomy. So for the rest of this evening, those temperatures are expected in the 40s. We continue to see that steady rain, those gusty winds. And by the time tomorrow morning rolls around, we're still at 45 degrees. So 45 is generally where we're going to start tomorrow morning. Those rain chances, as you can see, hour by hour, still at a 70% chance for 7. We are a 60% chance at 8, and then we slowly start to see that decrease. Temperatures remain pretty stagnant between about 45 and 47 degrees. So keep in mind that we are still seeing the wind in the morning, and therefore temperatures are probably going to feel like the lower 40s, maybe in some areas the upper 30s. So it's going to be cool, it's going to be rainy, it's going to be wet tomorrow morning. That's why we've got the first warn that is in place. Now, if you remember, it's been days now since we have seen the sun. To be exact, how many days? It has been 5. It has been since last Thursday. So we will be coming up on about a week, unfortunately, where we will, finally see the sun. And it's been gloomy. My husband said it perfectly. It's been like we've been stuck in like a Halloween spooky movie for days now. That's kind of what he said, which I thought kind of resonated. It's, kind of like deja vu each day. It's gloomy, it's cloudy, it's misting, it's cool. And that's where we're going to be for tomorrow morning, but with a little bit more rain and a little bit more wind. Rain and wind for today, the rest of today and tomorrow. Then after that, finally the sun is coming back into the forecast. It's not pure sun, but it is going to be better than cloudy and overcast skies. Seasonal temperatures are expected. As you can see, a little bit hard to see Kansas City right now on our Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing camera. You see it shaking around a little bit. That's from the winds. There is fog out there right now as well on top of the rain, but also think that the rain will also reduce some of that visibility due to the windy conditions. I think visibility may be low for the morning commute as well, so please keep that in mind. I'm going to give you a look at radar real quick before we start going into our forecast future radar so you can see how well this model is doing. So what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. Here's 7 o'clock. Widespread rain across the area. You could see some pockets of that heavier rain down towards our south. We continue to see that rain through the rest of this evening and into the overnight hours. Here we are at 5 o'clock. You can see widespread rain still expected. So if you are an early commuter, If you get up at 5 a.m. heading out the door, know that rain, wind still continues to be around. And even through about 8 o'clock, that's when we finally start to see that rain push away. That rain will then move out towards the southeast. And rain is pretty much going to be wrapped up after that. But by the time lunchtime rolls around, maybe an isolated to spotty 30% chance for a shower is going to be there. And then after that, we are expecting cloud cover to decrease. And eventually, by evening hours on Wednesday, we should be seeing partly cloudy conditions and dry conditions as well. How much more rain could we see from this system as it continues to move through the area through the night and into tomorrow morning? Between about a quarter to about 3/4 of an inch. I think more likely to see some heavier rainfall, or I would say not heavier rainfall, but higher rainfall amounts. That would be off towards the east. In places like Sedalia, Marshall, 3/4 of an inch to about a 1/2 of an inch will be possible. I think about a quarter to a 1/2 of an inch is going to be a possibility for the rest of us along the metro and up towards our north. Lesser amounts in the west, like Ottawa, Garnett, and Lawrence, that is going to be due to the rain pushing out of the southwest first. So it'll be rainy, and it will be windy. The wind advisory continues until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. That does include the metro, up the I-29 corridor, down the I-49 corridor, and in our western counties, which is mainly Kansas. So here's our wind gusts right now. We're gusting to near 30 miles an hour here in the metro. As you could see in places like Lawrence, gusts already around 40 miles an hour. So 40 to 45 miles an hour will be a possibility. It's going to be strongest in the west first and then overtake our area as we continue through the rest of this evening. So don't be surprised if you hear the wind, this evening or into the overnight. By tomorrow morning, we're still gusting 35, 45 miles an hour. This is during the morning commute. Once again, those strong wind gusts could, cause a little bit of crosswind as well as you're driving, as well as blow the leaves down. Those leaves are on the roadways, causing slippery, slick conditions. So please be careful tomorrow morning. Winds will still eventually be dropping slowly through the day. I still think we're seeing gusts of 20, 25 miles an hour by the evening. So while winds will be decreasing, much of the day is going to be windy tomorrow, turning breezy once the sun starts to go down. Temperatures at this point in the 40s, some of us still holding on to the 50s. It's 50 in Marshall, 51 in Chillicothe. Temperatures in the 40s are expected through the rest of this evening and into tomorrow morning. 45 as your morning temperature. Rain chances through the morning are generally going to, stay at that 70, falling to 40 by 10. The first warn for 10 is going to be for that windy conditions, those gusts to around 40, 45 miles an hour. And then we will see slowly rain chances wrap up and maybe some clearing once we get into about 7 o'clock p.m. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Our high temperatures will only make it into the lower 50s tomorrow. It's going to be a cool day, 52 as our high temperature. But then things turn nicer. We're in the upper 50s on Thursday. Your sunshine returns. And then on Friday for Halloween, looks pretty nice. 58 degrees. It's seasonal. We see partly cloudy conditions. Winds are light, 5 to 10 miles per hour. It should be good for trick-or-treating. You may still need a little bit of a light jacket, but in terms of what we've been dealing with, the rain and the wind here over the last couple of days, it'll be a nice change. After tomorrow, things are pretty quiet on the 7-day forecast. I mentioned we're a little bit warmer for your Thursday. Friday, those temperatures are in the upper 50s when you're trick-or-treating. We are going to be in the mid-50s at 6, and then we will fall slowly to the lower 50s by 7, 8 o'clock. So if you are going to be out later for trick-or-treating, maybe a little bit of a light jacket will be needed, or a sweatshirt underneath your costume. Or if you've got plans on Halloween, maybe a little bit of a jacket. The weekend comes. Temperatures around 53 on Saturday. That will be another cool day, partly cloudy. Sunday, we will lose an hour of daylight. We will gain an hour of sleep. Our clocks will fall back. We'll go from 2 to 1 a.m. We'll be seeing then sunset time at around 5:15. So it is going to be an adjustment, but hey, at least we get an extra hour of sleep. Temperatures are going to be around 60. We hang out in the 60s Monday and Tuesday of next week as well. I want to point out low temperatures as we go back into the 30s for not tonight, but the next couple of nights. So we are back to our, seasonal upper 30s. At this time, we aren't looking at any freeze conditions here over the next 7 days. We will climb those low temperatures back into the lower to mid 50s come Monday and Tuesday morning of next week. So that is all I've got for you on this Tuesday evening. I hope everybody stays dry today, tomorrow, and looks forward to more sunshine that eventually is going to be on the way. Have a great rest of your evening.